So, welcome back to another episode of WhatATimeToPodcast. And as you know, on a weekly basis, we're coming on with different sort of industries, which are not just beneficial for entrepreneurs, but very interesting in the space that is rising nowadays. And today's episode is all about web design and SEO. And today we actually have a special guest on who is not just an expert in this field, but has a great following or on more than 30,000 people are consuming his content daily and benefiting from it. And what we want to do today is talk about his journey, his story, and all the experiences that he's been going through and what he has in touch for the future. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Connor. Welcome, Connor.
Hello. Welcome everyone. But yeah, thanks for the intro. It's a very good intro. But I wouldn't say I'm a fully expert yet. I'm 2 years into my journey, or just over 2 years into my journey learning. And yeah, I'm still learning, but I'm just helping people out with stuff that's helped me, and hopefully help other people aspiring to either sell SEO or web design, or people just want to do SEO and web design for their own business. So just hopefully my content can help them do that faster and a lot more effective.
That's amazing. I mean, that's exactly what we want to do here with our podcast as well. We want to help people and make sure that people are, doing anything that they want to do to the best of their ability. And
Definitely.
So, Connor, you have a background working in IT, but
I do.
Now you are this great, I will say, expert. And the reason why I say expert is because when I look at your content, you are, number one, you're giving advice, and secondly, looking at the way your pages are laid out, the way you've been working with different sort of clients as well. To me, this is what every entrepreneur needs. Like this sort of service is something that they need to be they need to be connecting with you basically. And to me, what is quite interesting is your journey, because you just mentioned that you've been doing this for about 2 years. However, when you look at the space of 2 years, most businesses don't even hit off within that time. What tends to happen is they may take about 3 is probably the average, but even 5 years as such. Even ourselves with wattba, we know we are currently not, I wouldn't say struggling, but we're still in that journey where we're still that startup and still trying to make sure that we are gaining that success. However, so why don't you tell me a bit about yourself, what your story is, and how your background and how you came into the web design and SEO space?
Yeah, definitely. So like starting off right from the start, I guess, like I was one of them kids that never liked school, like just a normal life of going to university and getting a degree and working a job. Like it just never appealed to me. So like I ended up, when you could in England, I dropped out of school at like 17. And I got like, I just started looking for work basically. I just wanted money in. I didn't want to go into debt with university. So I got like this minimum wage job at a local store, like stacking shelves and doing customer service. And what I found, working for a local business, they often need help with like web design and the technical stuff and whatnot. So I ended up, after about 3 or 4 years working there, they needed help with a website. So I thought, I can look into this, I can figure this out. So I kind of got them sorted and got them set up doing that. And then when I was doing that, I just kind of thought like, this is something I enjoy doing. I want to travel, I want to work remotely. Maybe if I can build websites or do marketing for other businesses and help them out, I can do that from anywhere. And it could be a potential business or job for me. So that probably started around 2018. That was when I first started doing the sort of website for my first job at the time. So then I set up a business, set up my own website, and started trying to sell web design services. So at first I had to work for free because I didn't really have a good enough portfolio out there to sell to people.
Right.
So I got my first client, free project, built my website, got very good results, and then I got very overly confident. So I had some money saved up, and I thought, the heck with it, I'm just going to quit my job. And at the time, it was 2019, the start of 2019, I left my job and then moved to Thailand. At that time, I was trying to get new clients, but I was just really struggling to get new clients. So I ended up spending 2 months in Thailand, no more new clients, about £2,000 in debt. And then basically when I came back to England, it was like I was in a bit of a bad space. I'm like, oh, I'm a loser. I can't even do this. So I just went into this sort of grind mode for like about a month. And I just started emailing businesses. And then I picked up a couple of projects on the way, just cheap projects, but I was getting paid for them. And then that kind of got me going, and I had a good portfolio. However, I struggled again to get more clients. So I ended up looking for another job at the time. And then this job is what really turned things around for me. So it was maintaining and cleaning some properties. And it was basically like a minimum wage job, very simple job. But the person interviewing me was the business owner. And he had like multiple locations across the UK, and it was a growing business. So he asked me about my unemployment history, what I've been doing. And I was just open and honest with him. Like, look, I was trying to build this web design business. I've got a few clients and a few stuff, but I couldn't really take it off. So I'm just looking at a job to keep me going for the meantime.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, he was just like, oh, the funny thing, actually, I need a website for my business. I need someone to do the marketing. And I'm looking at building a new business in the future, but I'm going to need like, somebody, because he's an older person and he didn't really have computer knowledge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm going to need someone to do like the technical stuff, the website, the marketing. So then, from going to an interview with a minimum wage job, I got one of the best opportunities of my life out of nowhere.
Amazing.
And I didn't expect it. And the great thing is I'm still very good friends with him today. We still work together today, and it's a great relationship considering one of my best friends. Amazing. But like I wouldn't have got that opportunity if I didn't put in the hard work before, working for cheap clients, doing free projects and building that portfolio. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have got that opportunity. It wouldn't have came up. So like, just a bit of advice I give to anyone, just work, build up results. And then when them opportunities come, because they will come, if you put yourself in the right places, they will come to you. And then you're prepared to take that opportunity and you're ready for it.
That's amazing.
So we built this new business. I was partnered with him on this new business, and it done really well. This was about the end of 2019, and I was building the websites, but I wasn't doing so much of the SEO then. It was just mainly the website and some technical support for the business as well. And then we grew this business. It's about £1 million revenue a year now. So it's grown very fast. And then it was at the end of 2020, I was getting a bit sick of living in England, and this job and this business, like, it meant I had to be there at the time. So I ended up discussing something with my partner at the time. I'm like, look, I want to focus back on my web design and my SEO and my market and stuff. I can still, all the jobs I'm doing for you and for the company, I can still do remotely, and I can do the marketing for you remotely and the technical support remotely, which I still do a bit of the technical support today as well. And I was like, look, can I like drop down as a partner in the business, and basically you pay me a salary or pay me an invoice, and then I'll work for you remotely and still do all the stuff that I'm doing. So we agreed on that. The start of 2020, I started just focusing full on the marketing for this company, like learning SEO, like really getting into SEO and just learning everything I could about it. And then that was the year I just focused on getting really good SEO results from my main client. And at the end of that year, I'm getting my dates mixed up here. At the end of 2021, that's when I started, 2021. So that's when I first moved. I started working remotely. I moved to Mexico. Got set up, did the marketing. 2021, focused on the marketing, the SEO. And then it wasn't until the end of 2021 where I was confident enough, like, okay, I've got these good results. I've made them a lot more money and got them a lot more clients through SEO. I'm confident in my services. I was like, right, how can I get more clients for my business? Like, I was like, how can I do it? I didn't want to do cold emailing, because if you've tried doing a cold email for trying to sell web design, everyone and their mother is sending businesses cold emails for web design. It's so hard to sell.
True.
So it's like, I want something that can show my expertise, give me that extra trust with clients, and have people come to me. So that was basically when I started doing the TikToks. I'm like, okay, TikTok and Instagram Reels, they're really picking up, and that's probably the best way to get organic traffic right now. And the quick videos to make, it takes me about 1 or 2 hours to make a video per day. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stick to this for a year at least, consistent every day, 5 days a week, and see what comes of it. And then after that, it took me about 3 months, and I had about 5,000, I think, on TikTok. After about
Wow.
3 or 4 months, some videos picked up. And then obviously the Instagram, I was posting every day on there until November last year.
Wow.
And then I only had 1,000 followers. And then suddenly in November, a couple of my videos started picking up and just going off. And all of a sudden, at the end of the year, I'm at over 25,000 followers.
Amazing.
And then literally now it's like I'm struggling to keep up with the work I'm doing and the requests and stuff I'm getting from clients. It's quite difficult to keep up now, quite difficult to manage, but it's a good problem. And I enjoy having that problem. And that's basically it. Like this year, I've done some more projects for other clients and stuff like that as well, building my skills, doing some of my own personal projects for SEO and web design and getting some results with them. And I'm just, diving deeper into the subject and just trying to become a master at it. But that's basically, that's the whole story in a nutshell, basically.
Wow, that's amazing. And honestly, like just kind of listening to your words just now, it really some of the two things I really picked up from this is you were consistent and you had the drive for it. One thing I would say is, being consistent, especially when you're starting off a business, like myself, I have experienced the exact same. You have to be consistent in every sort of aspect. However, your drive and your motivation, I can understand the fact that you wanted to be flexible, you wanted to stay remote. Is that correct? Is that what your drive was?
Basically, that was my whole motivation. Like to do this, I enjoyed. Like I think there's a mix between passion and what I'm good at. Like I'm just naturally good at computers. I can figure stuff out. I'm always in my family. I'm that person who like everyone asks for computer help and stuff like that. So it's something I can naturally do. I do hate it sometimes. Like it does drive me crazy. But at the end of the day, it's like I know it's what I'm good at. I do enjoy like making the content. I love doing that and helping people. So that just keeps me consistent. It's like I want to become the best I can be at this project. And I'm in it for the long term, basically. I'm not just in here to get some quick cash and get out. It's like I want to do this constantly because one, it's helpful for businesses. It's something I'm good at and I can learn. And two, it helps me work remotely. And they're my main driving factors, really. Like just that motivation to keep going.
That's great. Yeah, I think like you mentioned that you had with your motivation and actually being flexible and the focus on yourself, being able to like not have because a lot of people and I do think I'm not saying that it's a wrong thinking of people. However, a lot of times people will sacrifice their health, sacrifice their mental stability just to get kind of further their career or further their job opportunities. But you actually done the literally the flip side of it, which I guess it's quite a motivational, especially for entrepreneurs itself. You've actually established your business so you can focus more on your health, focus more on your mental stability as well, and actually just enjoy life itself.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I mean, it's still stressful at times. Like compared when I look at the days when I had a job, it's like when you have just one job and one thing to focus on, it's it is more peaceful, but it comes with a lot less freedom. Whereas if you're trying to do your own business, it's like the one thing that gets me is that I do try and make time to relax. But like I've just got 1,000 things running through my head all the time. So sometimes it is hard to wind down. And probably from a mental health, actually, it's probably not the best sometimes. But it's like I know at the end of the day, it's like it's something I want to do. So even if it is tough, it's like ultimately, even though I get like overwhelmed and stuff like that, ideally, as long as I'm working towards my goals and my purpose, it's like I know I'm going to be mentally, I'm going to be satisfied, even if it is stressful sometimes. But obviously, I still focus on good health, like nutrition, going to the gym every day. They're things that, like, luckily with this remote lifestyle, I can do. I can fit into, if I want to go in the gym at 1 o'clock, I can go at 1 o'clock. It's like there's no job holding me back from doing that. So yeah, definitely focus on my health, but it's more like endurance as well, and willpower, I guess, as well. That's
Yeah.
a lot of, it's kind of disciplined me a lot to focus more.
Yeah, willpower is probably the key word here.
Yeah,
Being able to, because again, like from the stories of where initially you started it up, you felt that it wasn't going well, although you moved out to another country and going into debt, and then starting all over again after working a minimum wage job, despite the fact that you'd already had that certain experience. Just kind of knowing the fact that if you believe in yourself, you can do it, and your
yeah,
skills, then at some point the success will come, which is definitely a great message to all our viewers and listeners right now. Because a lot of times what tends to happen is people start up a business, but they will quit after the first month, second month, or within a year. But
yeah,
you're probably a prime example there, who has not just not given up, but kind of restarted everything again and showed that their willpower has conquered the business that you're in, which is amazing.
yeah, definitely. It's like, I think for me as well, failure has taught me the most. Like you don't want to avoid them. Like, you don't want to avoid failure. Like, try something to the best of your ability and just go all in on it. And if you fall flat on your face, like I did, then when you're in that dark space and you're like, shit, I've messed up, I've done this wrong. It's like, you just find some motivation somewhere. I don't know, when sometimes the negative emotions can be more motivational than the positive ones.
Right.
It's weird how it works. Like, if you've got a need to do something, like, so for example, if you've just lost your job and you've got to pay rent next month, like, you will get put in the mindset. It's like, okay, it's not I can do this or I will do this. It's like, I have to do this. I have to find work. I have to find this money. So
Right.
sometimes depends on your personality, I think, but tapping into like them different emotions can benefit. Negative emotions can benefit some people better than positive ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, yeah, it really depends on how you take it.
Yeah.
Great. So coming off on the fact that, as you mentioned, that you actually built a relationship with with someone who you were working for, but kind of talk me through how, and possibly even maybe give an advice on, and maybe some sort of guidance on how you actually build relationships, because especially when it comes to like working with clients, I guess there's some sort of like reoccurring clients coming up, and possibly even when you are kind of suggesting someone off to another service, or maybe some other people are suggesting service off to you. It's all about building that relationship. Is that something that you've done as well? And maybe if there's some guidance, advice that you can give?
Yeah, I think building relationships is all about just being honest, just being yourself and being honest and being genuine. Like, don't pretend to be something you're not. If you can't do something, tell them that you can't do something. Like, for example, when people come to me wanting web design projects or SEO, if there's a certain thing that they want and I can't do, I'm just honest. I'm just like, look, I can't do this, but I can help you with X, Y, Z. Um, or if I get, sometimes people come to me wanting a website, and I'm like, look, you don't need a website for your business. You're not at that stage. It's like, you want to focus on getting the traffic to the website first, or building the following, because it's pointless building a website and having nobody go to it. So it's like, instead of just being out there for the money, I think it's like, be out there for your own reputation. Like,
Right.
you want to, whatever service you provide, you want to get your customers or your clients great results. And I think if you come with it, that motivation is like that, you want to get good results and you want to do the best for them, then you'll end up just naturally building good relationships with people, I think. Like, because if you try and, obviously, if you try and like just get money off people and stuff like that, you're going to get found out. Your reputation is going to be ruined, and your other clients are going to hear about it, and yeah, it's going to destroy your relationships. So I think it's just about being honest, being genuine, and just being human with them. Like, just treat them as a friend. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of my clients, I would consider them as friends. It's like, we get along well. We talk about the stuff. It's lighthearted. It's like, it's not super serious. You know what I mean? It's more of a chill vibe. And I think if you can do that, you'll build strong relationships. Because at the end of the day, as long as you can do something. So if you've got, let's just say, two people are offering web design and SEO, the client, like, and let's say the client is choosing between both of you. You've both got the same skill set, and you can do the same thing at the same price. Everything's the same. It's just your personality that's different.
Yeah.
Whatever personality that client prefers, they're going to choose like accordingly. So it's like by just being yourself and being genuine, you'll get people who like your personality and want to work with you. And they're often the best people to work with, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I think like especially like nowadays, because there's so many, I would say, I mean, the word that is kind of out in the internet is the fake gurus, or people that are just selling off courses just for their own benefit, despite not knowing much about it. And unfortunately, that sort of stuff is out there. And the fact that, like you mentioned, being genuine and being actually trustworthy and honest with your work is something very, 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 very important. And you mentioned there's, sometimes occasions where you actually tell a business off. Not you don't tell them off, but you let them know that, look, a website is currently not for you. What you really need to do is start focusing on other things. When a business is ready for let's say, to come to you for your services, what would is there a certain criteria that needs to be met?
Yeah, basically, obviously, there's a budget first. Like, I like to figure out the budget and see if using that budget for a website is going to be beneficial to their business. And also that they've got an established business already. Like, I've built websites for people who are just starting out, but I always make sure when we're in the call, I'm like, look, I can build you a website, even if you've got no traffic to social media yet. But if you want this to be useful and you want it to work for you, you need to like figure out some way of getting traffic to the website. So you either need to build, and that basically comes down to if you've got the budget for paid advertising, or you can grow your social media. They're the only ways you can really get traffic. Like, SEO with a new website, it doesn't really work. Like, SEO on a new website can take up to a year to start working. Right. So unless you've got a crazy budget, it's not really a viable option to start with. So yeah, I always recommend that they have some type of social media following or some way of getting traffic to this website before building it. And I think that's the main criteria, basically.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because it's not like, you make a website and there you go, magic is done.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Actually, there's a lot more effort behind it. And so whenever you are, I guess, talking to potential clients, and the way that you mentioned that, the fact that you mentioned that you should make it quite clear, I think that's quite recommendable, because a lot of times, even for ourselves, whenever we are looking out for for a mobile application to be built, or even for like social media managers and such, and what happened was there was a lot of empty promises, and which is very unfortunate, because yes, people are working and they're working for the money, and they're going to try the very best. However, at the same time, it's not a thing that happens with a snap of a finger or some sort of magic button. Otherwise, they themselves would have been also, people with million followers and such, and just become influencers. That becoming an influencer would be the easiest job in the world. And so right. So one of the things I kind of want to understand is, when it comes from your business, someone starting off in a business such as yourselves, i.e. website designing or SEO. A lot of times what happens is people start it up, but they just don't know where to start. They just don't understand how to kind of begin their business venture. It may not just be website design or SEO, it may be any sort of business. What do you see as the best place on where businesses should be starting off from?
Well, if you're going to do web design or SEO, or anything marketing, anything like that, like what I did is literally dive into YouTube and Google things. Like, it's crazy, like, not to be rude, but the amount of people that DM me like questions they shouldn't have to DM me. Like, you could type it in on Google and find it in an instant. And it's like, I think most people, unless they've got it laid out in front of them step by step, it's very hard for most people to learn. But for me, it's like, I've just got this constant, I think I've got where I am today just by being very good at Googling specific things and finding the knowledge where I need to find it. And that's helped me more than anything. It's like, if you don't have this deep passion to research the subject, then it's maybe not something or a type of business you should start. Like, and I think if you're doing if you want to get into web design or SEO, I recommend starting with your own project first. So basically, okay, I'm gonna sell t-shirts or something like that. So focus on building that site first and just go step by step through building the website. Okay, where do I purchase my domain? Research, what's the best place to buy my domain? What website builder do I use? Research a website builder, learn that website builder, build a website, and then just keep going through it step by step until you have that perfect website there. And then once you've done that a few times, you'll start to create your own process, your own methods of working, and how you like to do things.
Right.
So definitely, yeah, my first piece of advice is like have that passion there to want to learn something and just dive deep into it. Like I probably spent about 40 or 50 hours just watching tutorials, watching videos, and learning about web design, and obviously implementing that information as well and building my own projects.
Right.
So yeah, definitely, you've just got to have that drive to want to jump in and learn it. I mean, I did buy some courses, but I often found that a lot of the courses I've bought, they're just not very in depth as I'd like.
Right.
So a lot of the information I've learned, I've ended up finding for free, either on Google, YouTube, Twitter, and I've implemented that and tried my own variations of that and figured out some workflows that I like for myself and how I do things.
Right.
So yeah, just jump into it. Like be willing to learn it and be willing to commit to it. If decide that it's something you want to do, pick one type of business and stick with it until you're the best at it. And it's crazy, like there's so many people that jump from business to business to business. So if you can just stick to something for 6 months, you will be ahead of the majority of competition, and that's all you need to do.
Amazing. Yeah. I think like you mentioned, it's all about making sure that you start off. And even one of our previous episodes, one of our guests literally just said the same thing. Like, look, you got to make a start, because like you said yourself, you're going to be ahead of wherever other people are still kind of debating on the fact whether they should start. And that's very, very important. So I'm going to divulge into your TikTok and Instagram, your social media presence a little bit, because again, like you made a good following on there. Is there a potential chance of you becoming a like a full-time influencer? Is that something that you would have in mind?
To be honest, when I first started doing it, it was mainly just to help people and hopefully build a network, meet some new people, get some new clients and stuff like that. But as for the influence, I think I still want to. My goal is to grow my agency and have a good working agency and get people results. But as for influencer, I mean, there's some things you can do to make money by that. Like you can affiliate certain products, or you could sell a course or something like that. So potentially down the line, like I get a lot of people reaching out for help, but they just don't have the budget. So when I've looked at the competition, they're offering SEO and web design courses for like $500-$600. So I think I'd like, and I know I've bought some of these courses, and they're just not. I know they just seem like a cash grab a lot of the times. Like they're not as in depth as I would like them to be, and I think they could be. So I'll probably offer some type of product for people who can't afford it. Like for people, like a lot of small businesses, they can't afford to hire an SEO or web designer. Right. So my goal is to maybe build a course for around $50 to $100 or something in that ballpark. Wow. Completely laying out the steps of how to build a website and get it ranking on Google, and just make it as simplified and step by step for somebody who doesn't have knowledge in the SEO and web design space. So that is something I would like to do in the future, to offer that. But I think I'll still always want to have my agency and be working with clients, because I do enjoy that process.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, the fact that, I guess, is this an official announcement of that you're going to be doing a course?
Yeah. I mean, some people have reached out and I said I will do one, because I think it'll be a good way for me to help people without, like, because my time is just too spread at the moment. So sitting on calls and stuff like that, charging hourly for my time isn't going to be worth it, I don't think, at the moment. So offering a course that people can, follow step by step at an affordable price, and hopefully I can just get people really good results from it. And then I can help as many people as possible.
That's great. I mean, the fact that you're, again, it's a testament to who you are, and really it's it just shows how much of a, that there's still people out there who are still willing to help people for the right reasons. And just like you mentioned, like, yeah, there's courses out there for 500, 600, maybe some even going to like up to like $5,000. And unfortunately it is the case. It's very it's not detailed enough, and you still have to start searching for many various things. Like even for myself, because I was actually a QA prior to me starting a WATTPOD, and there's so many courses out there. They'll always tell you, oh yeah, we will tell you how to start being a QA and go and what the details are that you need to cover off, but none of them actually cover off anything that I've actually gained through the experience and what I've searched up online. 100%. So yeah, no, this is great. This is really amazing. Really appreciate it as well. So one thing what I'm gonna do now is, because we have the time for it, I'm gonna do some sort of a light-hearted rapid fire questions. It's a little,
all right, fire
sort of, it's basically and it's a shout out to the feedback that we received from some of our viewers. And so they asked us a couple of questions, said, look, we want to see you asking a couple of questions in what sort of format you want. And so one of the first questions I'm going to ask you, when you're leaving the house, what is the one thing that you never leave the house without?
Oh, it's my wallet, my phone. They're the priorities. And my girlfriend.
All right.
No. I can leave it out there.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I guess you gotta, whenever you go, you gotta make sure that you're able to pay, and especially for the girlfriend as well. Otherwise, it's gonna be a whole different story. That's great. So when it comes to Instagram and TikTok, what is it that you more focus on? Is it quantity or quality?
Both, like gradually improving my quality, but keeping the quantity out there as well, so that people don't forget about me.
Oh, great. That makes a lot more sense, because there's so many posts out there, well, people posting out random dances nowadays just for the content sake, right?
But yeah, you've got because it's like more short-term content. Like YouTube is more like evergreen content, they call it. Like a video from 2 years can still get a lot of views, but with Instagram and TikTok and Shorts, it's like normally once your video is 1 or 2 weeks old, you don't really get a lot of views on it anymore. So yeah, obviously my videos were terrible at the start, and they're still not where I want them to be, but I just sort of focus on the quantity first, right? Okay, I'm going to put a video out 5 days a week, and then just once you're in that habit of doing it, and it's like you don't have to think about it, you just make a video, then you can start slightly improving and just go on, maybe buy a light, buy a better camera, buy a microphone, and just slowly work your way up to better quality, basically. So yeah, a bit of both quality and quantity.
That's great. Yeah, sounds good. So since you are in Mexico, where should people go when they come visit Mexico?
Oh, I'd avoid the tourist traps. Like Cancun, and Mexico City is okay. But I really like I'm in a state called Veracruz, and it's beautiful here. It's like a lot of nature. There's some beaches, there's like forests, and the climate's a bit cooler as well. So it's not super hot all the time. You get a bit some more chill days. So yeah, this is my favorite place. I've been here for over a year now in this place. So Cancun is good if you like a beach. If you just want to go and chill out for a week, then it's perfect. But if you're going to live there long term, I would recommend more like Veracruz. Oaxaca is nice.
All right.
And yeah, there's a few other places that are cool.
Great. Well, we'll make sure we come visit next time we are in Mexico.
Definitely do a podcast in Mexico.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
in the sunshine, which is barely here in England. And just the last question, and this is something that we ask all of our guests. One message that you want to give the young entrepreneurs.
Oh, I think pick a skill, stick to it, dedicate, become the best to it, and just be consistent and keep going. You will make a breakthrough. It's like you just got to be prepared for the opportunities. Eventually
will come. Amazing. Thank you very much, Connor. I really appreciate you coming on. And hopefully, what we like to do is at some point invite all our guests back in the future, and
Yeah,
hopefully
definitely.
we'll be able to do it in Mexico. That would actually be a dream come
That'll be
true for us.
cool. Yeah, if you come out here, give me a shout. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 100%,
Can
100%.
do it on the beach
Great.
somewhere.
Oh, too good, too good. We'll probably have to find a socket somewhere in the beach though for the
Yeah,
mics.
yeah.
Great. Thank you again, Connor. Really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem. Anytime.
And to all our viewers, thank you very much again for watching and listening. And again, we on a weekly basis will be coming on next Tuesday again. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Take care and peace.